Sir, how big of a problem is this? Is it really, as sustainable as people would like to talk about it? I mean, AI data centers look so good on paper. The headlines are shining bright. A striking figure that was mentioned in the assembly by the Congress, MLA. 5 AI prompts could consume roughly half a liter of water. 5 AI prompts, half a liter of water. How real is this concern, sir? Help the viewers understand.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So basically, you are right, actually, when we are talking about the data center, so we have to understand the basics. So, all the data centers, generally they use the graphic processing units. And when you top up the artificial intelligence and the neural network, then if you combine into, so of course, then there will be a lot of, heating, the cooling requirement that will happen, because ultimately, at present, we basically use the evaporation type of cooling for the data center. So what has happened, if I can give you an example,
Yeah.
like a large fabrication facility, I'm just quoting one recent study done by one of the consulting firm.
Okay.
So they are talking about for the large fabrication of AI chips, basically. So per month, so it consumes more than, if it is having a wafer capacity of 40,000. So per month, the daily water consumption will be 4.8 million gallons. So which is huge. As you have correctly mentioned, for 5 questions in ChatGPT, we consume 500 milliliter of water, for an example. So what is the basics is? The basics is, if we process the artificial intelligence or the neural network and then your GPUs, so it largely create a lot of heat in the chips. So
Yeah.
ultimately, you have to have some kind of a cooling mechanism. So these days, the hyperscalers like Microsoft, like Google, and AWS, what the technique they are using the liquid, cooling techniques.
Yeah.
We used to call as the immersion cooling. What it will do generally, it will basically, at the chip level, it will reduce the heat that has been produced during the processing of the AI techniques and all. So, but the opposite side of it, it needed heavy cost. The upfront capex would be heavy if we go for liquid cooling, all kind of a immersion cooling technology that are available at present. But it substantially reduced the water use. Even paper.
So
The
it's a
study
double
says,
whammy. It's the valley or the pit. So on the one side,
correct,
it's higher cost. On the other side, you start using your own water. And by
exactly,
that definition, one prompt is costing us about somewhere between 90 to 100 milliliters of water.
correct, correct.
Can water be substituted here, sir? Because clearly cloud computing is going nowhere. US is
Yeah,
making all the strikes in Iran because of artificial
yeah,
intelligence.
yeah,
People are
yeah.
now planning on shifting from chat GPT to cloud, Anthropic. Those are some words that are doing
Right.
the rounds. And here we're talking about water, and water is a necessity. Water or
Yeah.
chat GPT. Weight on the Libra scales. What do you want more?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, the point is how to introduce a new or innovative technique for the cooling. So as I mentioned, the immersion cooling, the liquid cooling, instead of placing the air or evaporation techniques, I think it can substantially reduce your water consumption by 90%,
Okay.
and also the cooling energy demand by 40% if we go by this technique. But again, it needs additional investment, additional capex for the hyperscalers. That is something we have to see. Something we have to
Okay.
see how to incentivize those. But if you talk about the global market, you are talking about a lot of, I would say, if you see the market like US, they have talking about data center is having, they have to have their own energy facility. Like
Yeah.
people are going for nuclear power or solar storage and all. But in India, what is happening is we have enough of grid capacity, because you have to, what the minister in the Karnataka rightly mentioned about, because Bangalore may not be the right place, because there is a grid congestion, there is a water issue. But if we move towards lesser stress zone like coastal areas, or maybe, where the
So it's
grid capacity
possible,
are,
it's
more.
doable, is what you're saying. It's
Ex-
sustainable and it's possible and it's
Exactly.
doable. But that
But
still does not mean, I mean, we still need to educate our viewers, sir, about how complex a data center essentially